What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're here to go ahead and talk about the Crew 2's PvP update. Uni deadlines have been absolutely killing me this week, but I still managed to find an hour in my day to play a bit of the Crew 2 so I can go ahead and make a video on it and kind of give my first impressions. These are bound to change, so I just want to let you guys know before we go into that these are my first impressions, and the gameplay you're seeing in the background are actually my first few events that I did in PvP. So I believe they're like the first 3 races I did, so if it is a bit trash, keep in mind I haven't played the game for like 3 months, and these were like my first videos. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk straight about the Crew 2's PvP. So eagerly awaited, I think, is a bit of an understatement. We've been waiting pretty much 6 months for this, and they finally implemented it. And you know, the kind of general synopsis, the quick synopsis of things is that it's very, very basic. Now, before I go ahead and talk about things a bit more in depth, I do want to say it isn't necessarily bad, but I wouldn't say there's anything necessarily that's redeeming or good about this PvP mode. It's very, very basic, and I can see this getting really boring really fast, and to be honest, I still don't know where 6 months has gone. So it's taken 6 months to get this PvP mode, and realistically it's really, really basic. Now, when I went back and made videos at launch talking about how if there's no PvP in the game, then we're going to be really disappointed. They then said that they wanted to take time with the PvP to make sure that it's right for everyone. And in my head I thought, well, this means more modes, you know, this means, you know, the ability to have private lobbies, etc, etc. As far as I'm aware, there's no private lobbies. I know all the party modes have been taken out, which makes no sense at all. Obviously, you have your street racing, and then you have your demolition derby lobbies, but like, I think I haven't actually clicked on them, but I think they're like mixed lobbies, so you don't have separate lobbies for separate disciplines, which is really, really annoying. Again, I've only played like an hour worth of street racing PvP, so I can't comment too much on that, but it just seems really kind of half-baked. I don't know, it's one of those things with the Crew 2. I kind of feel like I was right in saying what I said a week ago about the Crew, you know, like it's one of them games I just don't think it can be saved at this point. Now, I will say with the PvP, I do think that it will keep me coming back, but I can't ever see myself playing this as my primary racing game, especially until at least PvP is sorted. I think with PvP, with the current implementation of it in the game, it's definitely a good base for the game, but it's nothing kind of further more than that. Car balancing is a huge issue. I talked about this in many videos previously. I said if you don't fix the car balancing, then there's no point putting PvP in. Every lobby I go in, I've seen Hurricanes, I've seen R8s, I've seen bikes that are OP. I think it's one of the Ducatis is OP. You know, I said this right from the beginning. I said if you don't fix these fundamental issues, PvP is going to be broken. And from a gameplay and balancing standpoint, PvP is currently broken. I don't know what the OP cars are for the mixed events. I'm assuming every single class has its own OP car. And because there's so many disciplines in the game, you're going to have to go ahead and tweak every single one of those disciplines. And that could take forever. We all know how long it took for cars like the Skyline to get downgraded or to get nerfed in the Crew 1. The LaFerrari is still OP after multiple nerfs in the Crew 1. So now how they're going to manage to fix rallycross cars and street racing cars and hypercars all at the same time, you know, considering that's how long it took in the first game. Again, it's just not looking that good. Collision off is a nice change, I've got to say, but the only problem with this is, like I said earlier, you know, they haven't fixed a lot of balancing problems, and that doesn't only just lie with car balancing. Wall grinding is still a serious problem. So now collisions are off. If someone's wall grinding, it's not even like you can stop them. It's like they just wall grind and then you end up, you know, finishing lower, and it's just not good for you. And going back to the car balancing point, I just want to quickly say that it's really bad in this game. You'll notice certain cars are just absolutely absurd. I am not sure if tunes carry over. I think they do, but the thing is, you know, with certain cars being upgraded to 280, you can notice that cars tend to buckle a bit more, and I feel like this is a bit more of a handling problem, you know, than a actual like an upgrading problem. But you know, I've noticed with some of the lower end cars, when they upgraded get upgraded to 280, they kind of buckle a lot more, and it seems a lot more like the Crew 1's handling. And again, I'm not sure if this is just something I've just noticed. I can't believe this took 6 months. I can't believe it took 6 months. There's no party modes, there's no vehicle shifting races, there's, you know, no private lobbies. I am still absolutely shocked this took 6 months. I didn't get invited to play this update early, probably because of the amount of videos I made criticizing the game beforehand, even though I did go to pre-launch events. I've been a big advocate for the crew before launch, and I've said time and time again that this update needs to be big. And there's a lot of things outside of PvP which are really good about this update. Keep in mind, I'm only talking about PvP specifically in this update. For example, daily contracts is something which I didn't see anywhere until I actually got onto the game. Those are a really cool addition. I'm going to talk about all these things in a separate video. You know, Demolition Derby, I haven't actually gone into it yet, but from what I've seen on gameplays and stuff, that looks really fun. Even things like the bundles, the elite bundles, really cool stuff, more things to work towards. But with the lack of some type of summit in the game, with the lack of party modes, with the lack of private matches, with the lack of vehicle shifting races, which are this game's, you know, unique selling point, I just don't understand where they're trying to take this game. I just don't get who they're trying to appeal to. Are you trying to appeal to the people that bought your last game? Are you trying to appeal to this completely new fan base that you're trying to create? I have no clue what's going on with the behind the scenes at Ivory Tower. It's somewhat disappointing. I feel like once this honeymoon period's gone over and people have actually played this, they're going to kind of come back to this video and say, oh yeah, like I kind of understand what you're saying. When I made videos talking about how PvP needs to be at launch, you know, otherwise it's going to die, a lot of people critiqued me for that, and which is completely fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But looking back on that video, you know, a few months after, people kind of went back to it and said, you know what, the Crew 2 actually does need more content. And the problem of endgame is still very much true. The video I made a few days ago talking about how the Crew 2 needs more endgame than just PvP, I believe still to be true. Daily contracts is one, you know, step closer to that, but you know, it needs more. It really needs more. It needs more than just PvP, and I said that, you know, PvP can't save this game now. Even if PvP was good, it would need a lot more than just PvP to be saved. And the fact that PvP is somewhat lackluster, in my opinion, from what I've played so far, the fact that, you know, endgame is still a problem, I don't know, it just gets me. I just don't know where this game can go. Yeah, a lot of people had hope in this update and being the update to save the game, but now where we are, I just don't really know what to expect from this game anymore. I think it's going to be one of those games I play on the back burner. I'm probably going to play a bit of the Crew 2, you know, PvP, you know, in the meantime, since it's fresh and new, and then when I get bored, I'm probably going to end up going back to Horizon. Horizon's Fortune Island update comes out next week, so I'm probably just, you know, as soon as that comes out, I'm not going to have any reason to go back to the Crew 2, other than just to dip my finger in PvP whenever I feel like it. I do feel like in some ways it is going to bring me back. There is now a reason to play this game. PvP is a reason for me to play this game. Whenever I get annoyed at Horizon's PvP, I can see myself going over to the Crew 2s, because Horizon's is absolutely awful. But as far as anything else is concerned, in terms of depth, you know, there's not really much there. To be honest, having the best PvP mode in current races isn't exactly hard because they're all pretty trash. But in terms of anything else, in terms of any depth to the actual mode, in terms of, you know, any substance, I just don't think there's any here. There's a lot of nice quality of life in this update. For example, scrapping parts is a lot easier now, and there's a lot of things which are a lot easier now in this update. There's a lot more patch notes and stuff, which I will talk about in a separate video because this is only supposed to be about PvP. But there's just a lot left to be desired. I'm a little bit disappointed. I hope they update it, you know, continuously, because I don't know where party modes are. There needs to be private lobbies. I don't know why private lobbies aren't a thing. I just hope they fix it, because it's really frustrating, really annoying, and we've been waiting 6 months for this, and it's just a bit disappointing, really. Ivory, it's quite clear to me you guys don't really know in terms of what the community kind of want. You know, all I can really do is offer my hand out if you ever need my perspective on things, but you know, it's quite clear to me that this isn't really what the community wanted from PvP, and it's just a very disappointing endeavour. But I will be playing more of the Crew 2, and I think I probably will cover a bit more of it, so I guess in some ways it kind of got me back, but, you know, it's nothing special. It's just very bare bones basic PvP. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. Again, I will be playing more of the Crew 2 because, you know, as a fundamental base, I do enjoy this game, and PvP does add some game time to me. How long I'll be playing it for, I don't know, but it is enjoyable. I just wish there was a bit more. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.